there are certain specific things that can happen during vacation time or summer that can make your child's tantrums, screaming, sleepless nights worse, even the aggression, the rigidity, the lack of learning, lack of development, and even ruin your motivation to turn symptoms around after you come back from vacation. But summer is also, conversely, if you do this right, the best time to speed up the turnaround process and improve your child's outcome so that tantrums and sleepless nights and rigidity and mood swings and picky eating just seems to get less and less. In fact, summertime is the most effective time for me to work with moms to turn their symptoms around. And I want to share that with you so that you can avoid this vacation this summer, that it turns into a nightmare, and just that usual thing where you come back from vacation and you've gained weight, you feel horrible, your child is awful, your relationship is just in pieces, and you feel less motivated than ever. Let's turn that around and let's switch it up and change it for more improvement, better relationship, and you maintaining a healthy, stable weight and energy level and a balanced family life so that your child can improve over time, but particularly over summer and while you're on vacation. Summertime, here are the things that you don't want to do. Oftentimes when we go on vacation, we think, I need a break. How bad can it be? Let's live a little, let's just eat some ice cream, some dairy, some gluten, let's pop some red wine, let's have fun, let's loosen up. We deserve it because we've been having a tough year, and certainly being an autism mom means sleepless nights, tantrums, eloping, always being worried about your child's future, or your child eloping, or something happening to your child, or the embarrassment of situations where your child's having regression or tantrums or episodes out in public. So yes, I get it, it is hard, but you can make it harder by letting go this summer. So the worst thing we can do for regression and tantrums and aggression and mood swings and autism symptoms is actually a high processed, high sugar diet. And for us as moms, as autism parents, we also deal with undermethylation almost always, at least 70 to 80% of the cases in autism families, moms and children are dealing with undermethylation. So alcohol, like red wine, will mean more histamine and less methyl, which will then conversely mean that you will have more depression, more mood swings, more anxiety, and more symptoms. There's a train coming now, so it's going to be a bit noisy. So don't do it even though you feel like you want to do it, because there's another reason why, and that is dopamine, the effect on dopamine. If you do a lot of alcohol, you do a lot of stimulants, you do a lot of fun, and you stack all the fun together, so you go to, I don't know what you like. I don't like those kind of amusement parks or stuff like that, or loud music. But if you stack it, you do alcohol, loud music, and ice cream, and a lot of partying, and you stack all these dopamine releasing activities together, you'll have a serious raise in elevation in levels of dopamine, and that will be followed by an incredible drop in levels of dopamine, so low that you don't get back to the baseline that will make you feel motivated, make you feel happy, make you feel satisfied with life. That goes for you, and that goes for your child too. Don't stack these stimulants and all these experiences into, don't pile it, because the more peaks and the more drops you have in dopamine, the harder it is to get that baseline that actually makes life worth living, that makes your child motivated to learn, that makes your child balanced and happy, and also able to take in information and develop in a more sustainable way. Also, these blood sugar peaks that you will be experiencing if you go for all the ice cream, you go for all the barbecues, you go for all the French fries and all the things that we feel like we deserve during summer. It is also enhancing the negative effect of glutamate, which is something that many of the children with autism, they deal with an inability to convert and create balance between GABA, the calming neurotransmitter, and glutamate, the excitatory, anxiety-driving neurotransmitter. So that's not a good idea either. It also increases the risk for loads of tantrums, loads of conflicts, and the more tantrums and conflicts, the more inflammation, which is another thing that these food items will give you, the more conflicts and the less learning and the less input, the less stimulation for the brain, and the less health in the body that can lead to development and understanding and comprehension. So if you want your child to have better social skills and less mood swings and tantrums, be better at learning and comprehending, and you want to develop your child's brain, you got to create an environment in which the brain can develop and thrive. And that is not inflammatory, I'm afraid, and it's not with all these spikes and drops in dopamine either. Indoor lifestyles. So if you feel like, I want to be with the friends, I want to just hang out on the patio, I'm going to let my child be in front of the computer or with an iPad doing gaming indoors. That exacerbates symptoms like tantrums, aggression, lack of learning, because sitting down passively and being entertained without having to go out and get something, do something for it, will actually have the same negative effect on the dopamine baseline, but it will also limit the stimulation in the parts of the brain that is actually responsible for social skills and learning and comprehension and focus and emotional control. The part of the brain that's called the cerebellum, that is stimulated when we are outside, crawling, creeping, rolling around, playing games, balls, balancing, all the things that we did as children, or at least I did, outside, and that you can do outside at this time of year. That's what you need to do, not indoor passive lifestyle, but yeah, let's get to that in a second. I'll get to it in a minute. What you can do instead that will actually improve the turnaround process and speed up the turnaround process for you. One last thing I want to mention about summer and the foods that we are eating and giving our children during summer that can exacerbate symptoms is glutamates. And so glutamates are in almost all processed heat-treated foods like crisps, snacks, and yogurt, many of the biscuits, many of the things that we eat during grill barbecue nights. So the ketchups, the barbecue sauces, the soy sauces, the condiments are often full of glutamates, and glutamates will create an excitatory reaction like anger, aggression, agitation, anxiety. And so it rarely makes for a great vacation or a great time as a family. And sometimes when we do all these things to really feel good, at the end of that vacation, we feel, is this my life? I mean, is this what my life is supposed to be? I remember my point of no return when I started to actually change my life drastically, that ended up with the system that I invented to turn symptoms around. That was after a summer vacation where our bodies were completely broken. Our relationship was in pieces. I was in pieces. I was feeling suicidal and anxious because we had been eating candy and ice cream and drinking red wine all vacation long. And my son's symptoms just got worse and worse. Of course, he didn't drink alcohol, but all the junky foods. So at the end of that vacation, all that could survive inside us, it was parasites. We had worms that we just couldn't get rid of with traditional medication at all. And I had gained a lot of weight, and I felt so heavy and so depressed, and I just wanted to give up. So that was my ignition, that was my cue to say this cannot go on anymore, because it's like every summer I did that, and then I gained a lot of weight, I ruined my relationship and my children's health, and then at the end of that vacation I was completely demotivated. And that was because my baseline for dopamine was so low that motivation is just not happening when we're at that stage. And that's why we end up eating all the way throughout Christmas and New Year's, because we cannot pull ourselves together after such a long break from health, if you're even healthy, but such a long indulgence. So what can you do in the summertime that can improve your child's symptoms and your life quality and your relationship? First of all is to keep on having a good schedule where you get up in the morning, don't lay around in bed, and don't scroll your phone as the first thing in the morning. So the first thing you do when you wake up is to go outside, the whole family, get exposed to sunlight, and have your bare feet on the ground for at least 20 minutes, preferably 30 minutes, especially if it's a cloudy day. The light will give information via the retina to all the organs in the body. It will improve sleep, it will improve mood, it will improve peace, it will improve health. It will also have a positive effect on cravings so that they're not so overwhelming. Do that every day, every morning. Then have dinner for breakfast. Instead of croissants and cereal and all these high carb foods in the morning, go for your children's favorite dinner dish for breakfast, where you have a good amount of protein, good amount of fats and vegetables, and then eat the vegetables first, because the fiber in the vegetables will then make sure that the impact of whatever you're eating, even if you're eating fries with it or if you're eating bread with it, the impact on the blood sugar will not be as bad if you're eating your vegetables first, and these fibers will line the system so that it doesn't rush into the bloodstream and create cravings and cause you to gain a lot of weight. These simple tips alone will make a huge difference, and it will limit the cravings that you have, it will limit the conflicts that you have, and it will limit the symptoms that you're experiencing. If you can then add on a daily form of exercise where you either go for a walk as a family, or you go on a walk and then the children go on a walk and you go on a walk alone again. Some form of exercise, really important for dopamine, for building muscle, and for being able to process, like have a balanced form of insulin, level of insulin, and ability to process the foods that you're eating, but also for the dopamine levels. The last tip I want to give you, so that will give you a good baseline, which will mean you're more peaceful, you're more happy, you're more balanced. Last tip I want to give you is to take a cold shower in the morning, or a chilled shower in the morning. That in itself has proven over and over again to increase your level of dopamine to baseline, so that you feel motivated and so that you feel more happy and joyful throughout the day. So it's up to you. Are you going to do things the way that you've always done them this summer or this vacation? Or are you going to use this opportunity to actually change your life by changing your habits? Because the habits that you build during summer or during your vacation can actually change your life and your child's future and your child's outcome. Because believe me, battling with your child about fries and candy and ice cream and thinking that that is the joy of life as when they're small will be easy peanuts compared to the conflicts you will have when they turn 12 or 13 or whatever, and everyone else are allowed to do things that you don't want your child to do. The experience you get in not eating all the things that everyone else is eating, and not putting value onto food that it doesn't deserve. Like, food cannot be your therapist. Food cannot be the meaning of life. Food cannot fulfill you or entertain you. But if we believe that and we teach our children that when they're small, that's what they're going to hang on to. And that's where we get unhealthy relationships with food. We get addicted to food and stimulants. And then when everyone else is drinking alcohol, believe me, it's a great thing to have experienced boundaries, clear boundaries, and having experienced that the joy of life is actually not linked to what we're eating. And I don't have to eat the same things as my friends to be joyful and happy and feel fulfilled in my family and as a human being. Those were my summer tips for you. As an autism mom, I know everything about how the things that we do eat and the things that we don't eat and the things that we choose not to do can actually literally change our lives. So we can ruin our lives and we can change our lives and we can heal our lives from the actions that we take today. So let that be an encouragement to you.